She was born in a small Indian town where mornings began with temple bells, and evenings ended with stories told under dim yellow lights. Her name was Aarohi. From a very young age, Aarohi learned that life was not always gentle. Her world was filled with responsibilities much bigger than her age. While other children played freely, she helped her mother, cared for her younger siblings, and watched her father leave every morning with tired eyes and silent hopes. Yet, Aarohi never complained. She believed that strength did not always need a loud voice. Sometimes, strength lived quietly in patience, in endurance, and in hope. She loved sitting near the window, watching the world pass by. The streets told her stories. Stories of women like her, carrying dreams hidden behind smiles. Stories of generations who sacrificed today for a better tomorrow. Her grandmother used to say, "Culture is not just what we wear or where we pray. It is how we stand tall when life bends us." Those words stayed with Aarohi. As she grew older, life tested her again and again. There were moments when dreams felt too far, when society tried to define her limits, when silence felt heavier than words. But Aarohi learned something important. That silence can also be powerful. She chose dignity over anger, grace over bitterness, and patience over fear. Every step she took was rooted in tradition, yet guided by her own vision. She respected her culture, but she also believed that culture should give wings, not chains. In the soft glow of evenings, she would walk through old streets, listening to the rhythm of life. Vendors calling out, children laughing, elders sharing memories. She felt connected to something bigger than herself. Aarohi understood that her story was not just her own. It belonged to every girl who carried her culture with pride, every woman who balanced tradition and dreams, every soul who believed that progress does not mean forgetting one's roots. There came a day when Before Aarohi learned how to be strong, she first learned how to survive. Her childhood was shaped by narrow lanes, old walls carrying untold stories, and a home where love was deep, but resources were few. She grew up watching her mother wake before sunrise, hands moving quietly through household chores, eyes carrying dreams she never spoke about. Her mother taught her something important. That sacrifice does not always look like pain. Sometimes it looks like patience. Her father was a man of few words. He worked long hours, returned home tired, and spoke mostly through his silence. But Aarohi learned to read that silence. It was filled with responsibility, pressure, and a hope he carried for his children. School was not always easy for her. She walked long distances under the burning sun, books pressed tightly against her chest, as if knowledge itself could protect her dreams. There were days she wanted to give up, days when she felt invisible, when the world felt unfair, when she wondered why dreams were so heavy. But every evening, her grandmother would sit beside her and tell her stories of the past. Stories of women who endured storms quietly, who built families with courage, who kept culture alive even when life tried to erase it. Those stories planted something inside Aarohi. She learned that pain does not mean weakness. She learned that struggle is not shameful. She learned that every generation stands on the strength of the one before it. As a young girl, Aarohi often stood on the rooftop, looking at the distant lights of the city. She didn't wish for luxury. She wished for dignity. She wished for a life where she could choose her path. Society had expectations for her. How she should behave. How much she should dream. How quietly she should exist. But deep inside, Aarohi carried a fire. Not loud, not angry, but steady and unbreakable. She failed sometimes. She cried in silence. She doubted herself more than once. Yet every fall taught her something new.